Reefing fam, what is going on? March here. This is Fragbox TV. Okay, we had a little bit of a problem here in our main, this is what we call our main coral bed. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Hello, we're in Canada, and this is a store that specializes in saltwater aquariums. This is a very cute bulldog. His name is Mr. Diggs. We hit alkalinity in this is what we call our main system. So these large 3 coral vats are connected in the basement into one larger sump, and they house thousands and thousands of coral frags at any given time. Our alkalinity hit 14. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you're new to the hobby, maybe you don't understand the importance of alkalinity, I'm gonna tell you that's bad, very bad. How do we hit 14? I'm actually still at a loss, and it's kind of why I'm making today's video. How do we test our alkalinity? First steps. First, I depend on this over here with this handy device that looks sort of like what you would use to iron your clothes. You see this thing? It looks like an iron. It's not an iron. It's called a Trident. It's from this amazing company called Neptune Systems. And what that does is it automatically, up to 24 times a day, we do 4 times a day, will monitor your calcium, your alkalinity, muy importante over here, and your magnesium. It was giving me a reading of 14 DKH. I don't know how it got that high. And our calcium, super low. We hit calcium of around 350, 360. So first thing I did is go and check our dosers. Everything's working correctly. The dosing lines are pumping as normal. The program is right. So our dosing, because we use dosing here on our system, that's how we keep our levels where we want to keep them. Our salinity, we keep at 1.025, which is in check. And I'm using this Cybond refractometer. If you're wondering why I'm making today's video, it's because I'm stumped. It's not often it happens that I get stuck and lost. You know, a lot of people come to us with questions now. Other way, let's turn the tables. I'm going to ask you guys for help. So salt is 1.02526. And our liquids for dosing, right now I'm using these. I used to use ESV, and now I'm using Red Sea, calcium, alk, and magnesium. Why? Because during the worst of the pandemic that happened, I didn't have access to ESV, and I was forced to pick another brand, so I went Red Sea, cost effective. Our dosing hasn't changed. The doses are working. And so I thought, okay, maybe the Trident's off. Maybe the number's not right. So what I did is I grabbed 2 test kits. So I grabbed one from very trusted brand over here, which is Salifert. And I checked alkalinity and calcium. And lo and behold, almost exactly the same number as the Trident. And just to be sure, I opened up new ones of alkalinity and calcium from Aquaforce. I really trust these guys too. So one of the nice things about owning a store like this, if I need something, it's as easy as boop, go and grab it. I check with those 2. They line up with the reading. We are, in fact, super high on the alk and super low on the calcium. How do the corals look? I was expecting some serious coral loss. I have a couple Gonioporas flower pots that don't look crazy happy, but just one type, really, this orange one. The rest of them look really good. Like, look at these. They look great. They look really good. The alk has since, we've corrected it. So this issue is a couple days old. I've since brought it down. I did lose a number of hard corals that peeled on us. So some stuff that's really, really hardy that I wouldn't expect to lose. Some bird's nests, those peeled. When I say peeled, what does that mean? The tissue just flew right off of them. So I'm still trying to figure out how it happened. My only sort of hypothesis right now is maybe a bum batch of salt. I don't know. Could that do it? The system is really large, but we go through one of these buckets every, why am I kicking it? Maybe every 3 days. Maybe every 4 days. We go through a ton of salt. And this is the salt we use here throughout the whole store, on the display systems, on the nano reefs, on the what we call our main system, on our fish, and even on our invertebrates, where you could use any salt. It wouldn't really matter. We still trust and use Red Sea. So the only sort of theory I have right now is that maybe a bad batch of salt that was super high in alkalinity and low in calcium. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm going to look at the comments carefully of this one. Actually, I look at the comments of a lot of them, and what I've been doing over the last few months is saving the some of the funniest and strangest comments, and I'm going to put out a video one day which is going to be like the best YouTube comments ever. A lot of you people are really funny. There's some really strange ones out there. Anyways, anytime that it gets my attention, I save it in this little folder called Best YouTube Comments. I use the same salt. Actually, let me just mention this. I'm getting sidetracked with YouTube comments. I use the same saltwater mixing as I do for this system on this system. Here, I'll show you really quickly. Actually, let's go down to the basement. Dun, 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 our haunted basement. Oh, it's a disaster. Why am I bringing you down here? This is embarrassing. I'm just going to show you. This is where we mix our salt. So there's our coral pearl. And this is our big freshwater kind of mixing container, which drops down. So let's say I want to make some salt. I open this, and then we add our salt into here, and then we got a massive, almost like a pool pump in there, mixing in this 250-gallon vat. And then from here, we have this manifold that feeds the store to each tank. So anytime you want to add salt, there's our main. You know, I'll add it if I want to add it here, whatever. We just turn a valve. One last thing. I got this up and running finally. I'll talk more about it in our other vlog posts, but it's a super shallow light, and we're going to do a PAR reading very soon on the Neptune sky. I'm excited to see what kind of PAR it's putting out. I don't know if it's an appropriate light because really it's just for softies and mushrooms and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm stumped. I don't know how the alk gets to 14. The dosing, like I said, remained the same. I haven't changed the concentration. I haven't changed the brands. The salinity is the same. And I'm fairly certain that the testing is not off. Let me know what you guys think. Really appreciate the input. I'm going to wrap this one up. A little bit of a shorter video today. Thank you for watching today's episode. And please, if you can, give us some ideas. Help us out. Right, Diggs? This guy is useless when it comes to anything reefing related. But he's always here in the store if you want to come say hi.